Hi friends, this is Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Schoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy, and I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have a super simple card for you for Christmas time, so it's time to get going on all that holiday crafting. Even though it's been still pretty warm here, before you know it, it'll be time to give away and mail out those cards. And I have some brand new products, brand new stamp set and brand new paper to show you today. And I also would like to tell you about the classes that I have coming up. And so I'm just going to switch my camera here so we can have a look at everything, and we'll get started right away. And if you're watching today, I'd love to hear where you're watching from. So here is the card that we're going to be doing today, and it's really easy. I used a die cut machine to cut these little frames for the labels out and to nest them together, and I'll show you all of that really soon. That's the ink we're going to be using. But let me just tell you about the things that are coming up first. So if you're needing to do some Christmas crafting and make some cards, here's a great way to do it. Here, I'm sorry, I'm going to just straighten out my phone here. Been having some technical difficulties the last few days, but anyways, here we go. So this is a brand new kit, and I think it's a really nice one. So you can see here, it's got traditional Christmas trees in it, and it's also got these fun elements you can add if you want. Palm trees and also cacti, and they're all decorated. So if you know some people who are spending Christmas time in the South or like to do that in the winter time after Christmas, those are a great card option, or you can just go with the traditional trees if you prefer. So I'm going to be hosting a class on this Christmas Everywhere kit, and you can find all my classes right here, www.juliescraftaddict.com. And this kit class is a great place to start if you've never done any card making before, because everything you need, even the adhesives, comes right in the box. And so you don't really need to have anything else. If you've been waiting to try out card making and you're just not sure about investing the time and money, this would be one evening and a very minimal cost to you, and you get to make a bunch of cards, which is great. Oh, hi Kathy, and hi Linda as well. I'm really glad that you're watching today. So if anybody's tried that kit, let me know. It's brand new, but you may have bought it already. I'm not sure. Here's another class that's coming up. I'm going to be using this So Very Merry stamp set, and I'm going to be calling this class Stained Glass Effects. And I'll show you kind of what I mean. I have these little mini samples here. So we're going to be working on vellum and making kind of a stained glass look. And we'll also be working on window sheets, so you can see right through that to the other side. And for this, we're going to be using some Stampin' Blend alcohol markers and also the StazOn ink, which is a special ink that will stamp very nicely on these two kinds of media. So that's that class. And again, you can find it all at www.juliescraftaddict.com. Another class I have coming up, because this is holiday season, so I have an unusual number right now, is based on this Stars at Night stamp set, which is really beautiful. And we're going to be also using the embossing folder and the dies that come together and match the stamp set. Now, the embossing folder and dies are currently out of stock, but I believe they should be back in time for the class. If anybody wants to purchase those, just let me know and I'll check on that for you, but I think they're supposed to be back. Now, this paper that we're going to be making the cards from, at least some of the cards, this is also out of stock right now. It was super popular when it first was released a couple of weeks ago. But I bought enough of it, so I have enough to run the class. So no worries there. We'll be able to use this beautiful paper. And then when it's back in stock, you can certainly buy more if you're interested. So it's got this lovely gold foil on it. And as with any items, if you're looking for them and it says that they're out of stock, let me know and I can actually look up in inventory when they'll be back for you. I can even put a little reminder in my calendar to let you know when that time is if you like. And here is the fourth and final class I'm offering for the holiday season. And this is based on the Night Divine stamp set with these lovely sentiments. And look at the cool dies that we have. So this is going to be a sacred themed nativity type class. And in each of these classes, we'll be making 4 cards. And this is the paper we'll be using primarily to make the cards in that class. And like some of the other things, this paper has already sold out, but I could see that it was low on inventory, and I bought enough to make sure we could have it for the class to make our cards out of. So again, that will be coming back though sometime in October. So if you're interested in that class or any of the classes, again, go to www.juliescraftaddict.com. I offer all online classes anywhere across Canada, so anybody with a Canadian address can register for those, and I'd be happy to help you if you need to know what you need to buy for the class. Okay, so let's go ahead with our project today. So here is our card, and I wanted to use this particular paper. It is called A Walk in the Forest. Now, let me see. Did I bring it over? I think I forgot. Just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to get my stack of paper and I'll pull out the different designs that come in this pack called A Walk in the Forest. Okay, so here's what you get in this pack. So we have this one. I'll just move the card out of the way so you can see them. We have this one, which has the balmy blue background, which is very pretty. We have this one with the brown bears. So they could be grizzly bears if you wanted. Here's another version of that. I just cut it slightly differently. And here's another one, a very lovely traditional print. Here's another one with the bears. And I think that's everything except the one that we're working with today, which you can see on the card that has the pine cones and berries and so on. And these ones also have nice prints on the back, so kind of more monochromatic and more multi-purpose, although this is a really nice one too. And you can use those, and they all match the other sides of the paper. And the cool thing about this paper pack called the Walk in the Forest is that with every purchase of a pack of it, Stampin' Up! Will donate $4 Canadian funds to the Salvation Army in Canada to help people this holiday season. So if you're looking for a way to do crafting and be able to give back at the same time, this paper pack is a great way to do it. And the cool thing about it is they've priced it the same as all of their pattern papers. So it's $17 for the paper pack, I believe. And it's not any more expensive than any of the other papers, but they are donating that $4 Canadian from each pack. And if you have a holiday catalog, if you look on the beginning page here, so this is page 4, and where I'm at is page 5. It just doesn't have a number over there that you can see very well. I guess it is there though. They explain about this paper and how they're donating and to make a difference in the lives of people in a different way through crafting than just sending cards. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. Maybe you can tell me in the comments if you like that idea as well, that they're giving back. I think that that's a really neat thing to do. And that's quite a significant amount. $4 out of the $17 that they charged. That's quite a bit. So I was impressed with that. So let's go ahead and we will make our project right now. So the first thing that we need to do is actually cut out all of these little labels. And I have my papers all ready to go here. This is Cherry Cobbler, this is Old Olive, and this is Basic White, which is specially done for stamping. So it has a very lovely smooth surface, so it's good for stamping and coloring on as well. And I will be providing all of the information about how to make the project, all of the things that I used, and a clickable supply list as well on my blog afterwards. So you can check back a little bit later today and I'll have all of that information up for you right in this post. And we are going to be using these labels, which are called Something Fancy dies. So these are the Something Fancy dies, and we're going to be using these 3 nestable ones here. So that's what we're going to be using. And I'm going to dig out my mini machine here, and we will cut out those little bits. So if you haven't seen a mini machine before, you just pull down the plates. It's very, very simple. and they give you all of the plates you need to do your crafting with, and it has all the instructions as well. So for die cutting, I will need plate number 1, which is this one. And you can see here, I need 2 plates number 2, my die, and my paper. So here's plate number 1. Here's my 2 plates number 2. They're very weathered, but they last for a long time. I finally had this one bite the dust, so I've actually bought some new plates, but I haven't opened them yet. This one should work for today. And we will just go ahead and die cut with those. So I like that you can actually get new plates if you need them, because sometimes things happen, right? Or they just wear out. I've used this so much that it just finally wore out. So I got new plates for it. All right, so let's get our little bits all lined up here. I think I should be able to do 2 at once. Let's see if I can manage that. So I'll just line them up. Oops, that's the wrong size. I want the medium size for the green. So that's Old Olive. And we'll try to just keep them down there. If you find your dies are moving when you're trying to put them through the machine, what you can do is simply add a little bit of washi tape, and that will hold them down for you. So that's a really easy way to get them to stay. Okay, here we go. So let's see what we get. All right, so that one's done. We've got our Old Olive label, so I'll put that to the side. We have our basic white label as well. And now we want to do our cherry cobbler. So here's the cherry cobbler. We'll just put that on there. And put our plate on. Oh, Kathy, you like the paper too? The Walk in the Forest? Yeah. Yeah, it's got some beautiful designs, really lovely. And just that we're giving back at the same time when we buy that paper, I think that's fantastic. Really, really nice touch. I was recently visiting Stampin' Up! I went to take a tour of their home office in Riverton, Utah, and it was really, really wonderful. They treated us like rock stars as demonstrators there, and it was just fantastic. We thought they were rock stars too, so it was just great for everybody. And I found that their value that says we put people first is actually really true, because they are so kind to their employees. Even their building design reflects their care for people, with plenty of windows, making a beautiful space. And it was just a fantastic visit. So if you ever get a chance to go visit their offices or their manufacturing plant, which is in Kanab, Utah, and I went there too, do go, because it's really an amazing experience. You really get a sense of how much they care about people in the company. I was just so impressed. Okay, so this is pecan pie. That's the kind of ink we're going to be using today. And I'm going to be using the Stars at Night stamp set for this. So this is a case of having a stamp set and using it with paper that didn't come coordinating with it in the catalog at all, but you can just simply use the very nice sentiment. So that's what I'm going to do. And I used this before to make this card, so I've already conditioned it. And what I mean by that is I simply used my fingertips to take off the coating from the factory. And actually, I found out what that factory coating is when I went to visit their manufacturing facility. They wash their stamps after they're made, these photopolymer clear ones, with dish soap. So when you get that coating from the factory, it's not toxic, it's dish soap. So when you're just using your fingertips to remove it, there's no worry, it's just dish soap. So that was a really nice thing to learn. I thought that was really funny, actually. I never expected it to be dish soap. Okay, so let's just stamp this down here. We'll hold it for a few seconds, and then we'll lift it up. There we go. So that's pretty nice. And you can see it's stamping really clearly there. So I removed that dish soap coating fairly well from that. But if you find that doesn't work for you, you can use Versamark, which is an invisible ink. It's a watermark ink. And you can just stamp right into the Versamark with your stamp a few times and then stamp directly into the ink, and that should work for you. Okay, so that's all the stamping we need. It's a really simple project. I'm just going to close that up. And now we are going to, I'll just move this down so you can see my website if you're looking for me. We're going to just adhere all these pieces together. So this is Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to put that on here. And then we're just going to use Stampin' Seal again. We just need a little bit, and we're going to adhere that together as well. And there we go. So we've got our label made now. So let's make the rest of this card. So first of all, let's take out our white panel, just basic white. And this is the Walk in the Forest paper, which is really beautiful. And what I'm going to do, actually, I'll put it this way so we get to see more of those red berries. You can kind of place your labels on there to see which way you want it to go, because this way I'd kind of cover up some of those red berries, and I want to see them all, so I think I'll put it in that orientation. So I'm just going to use Stampin' Seal again. So has anybody started their Christmas crafting yet? I'm just getting going myself, so I'm wondering kind of what kind of schedule everybody is on. I've just got my supplies. They were waiting for me when I came back from my trip to Utah, and I'm just kind of getting going with them right now. But maybe some people are much ahead of that. You might be. Good for you if you are, because the time goes quickly when you're trying to get all these things made. Now this is a half sheet of garden green cardstock. I just cut it down the vertical, and that's all I did to make the card base. So 8.5 by 11 separates into two pieces that are ideal for card bases. You can cut it on the vertical or the horizontal, doesn't matter. And this is just some basic white cardstock to put inside the card, since the green is a rather dark color and it might be hard for some people to see when you write a message there. I just like to put a white piece inside, so that's what I'm doing there. We'll just put that in. And now we want to put this on the front. So I'm going to use my dimensionals, and here they are. And let's see. So let's put those on. Here we go. So I like to put 4 on the corners and then 1 in the middle. Oh, Linda, you're working on birthdays. Yeah, between now and November. Yeah, for me, most of the birthdays in my family are in kind of the first half of the year through the end of the summer. And so I can start on some of the cards now. We have a few more birthdays, but not so many. But yeah, that's a lot of crafting at the end of the year. So kudos to you to be able to get all that done. That's really good. Okay, so I'm going to take those dimensionals and I'm going to put them on the back of my little labels here. And I'm going to use 3. You could probably get away with 2, but I don't like that sagging effect that sometimes happens in the middle. So I'm actually going to use 3. And let's see if we can position that so we can still see those lovely red berries. Okay, there we go. And now you can see over here, I have used a ribbon on there just to give it a little bit of extra interest, some softness with the textile, and a little bit of bling because it's got this silver on the edges of the ribbon. And this is a brand new ribbon that came out in the holiday mini catalog. This is not sold out. Everything that I've been showing you here today in this card, I made sure that it's all available. It's not on low inventory. It is there to buy right now. So this is called Sheer Ribbon, Silver and White Sheer Ribbon is what it is. And it's a 1/2 inch in width, and it's really nice for tying, I find. So let's see if we can tie a little bow. I'm going to use the bunny ear method here. And just going to put that inside there. And then we'll pull it through and see how we did. So let's see. All right, that looks pretty nice. So I like to tie right off the spool here because I find you use a lot less ribbon that way. There's less waste when you're done. Oops, I didn't cut that very well. Let's cut that on a better angle there. Okay, that's a bit better. And we'll cut that a little shorter so it'll match the other one. Okay, so there's my little bow. That looks pretty good. And I'll just put that off to the side. And we're going to use a little mini glue dot to just stick that on over here. And as soon as I find my glue dots, where did they go? There they are. Okay, I love these glue dots. I find they work so well, and they are my go-to to attach little bows. There, just lift that right off the paper. And then let's put it over here so you can still see the sentiment and it's not in the way. Whoops, that looks like it needs a little cut. One more time. There. All right, so I'll just shake those pieces off there. There, just get a little bit of the piece off there. And now we just need to add a little bit more bling. So I've put the rhinestones here, here, and here to make a triangle to kind of draw your eye across the center of the card with all the elements we put on. And what I'm using for these is one of my favorite things, actually, for embellishments. It's one of the simplest ones. It's one of the least expensive ones as well. I think they're $8.25, and you get how many? 140 in 3 different sizes. I use these for everything. I think they're so good. So we're going to take one that's the large one, and we're just going to put it right about there. I'm going to take one of the teeny tiny ones, and for this I'm going to use my take your pick tool because they are so hard to pick up. If you have really long or really short fingernails, it's just really tough. So I'm just going to use this tool, and then we're going to take the medium one, and I'm going to use my tool again here just to pick that up, and we're going to put that kind of down maybe in this area here. So let's move all this out of the way so you can see the cards better. So we put 1, 2, 3 of the little embellishments on there. And as easy as that, you've got your Christmas card. So you could make this in multiples. You can make it with different designs in the background. You can make them all the same if you want, but it's a really quick one. All you got to do is have the die cutting done. And so I like these simple ones because for Christmas, it's great to make super complicated ones, and I like those cards too, but I don't find it's very practical when I actually have to send them out to people. So, so I like to find an elegant design that just doesn't take too long. Oh, you like it, Kathy? Great. I'm so glad that you do. And so if anybody has any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I'd love to know if you like the project. Once again, I will make sure that I blog all of the information that you need to make this project, as well as the supply list for it at www.juliescraftaddict.com, and I will put the link here in this post as well later today. So thank you so much for joining me today. If there's anything I can do to help you with your crafting, I'd love to help you order your holiday items. If there's something out of stock that you're interested in, let me know. I can look it up and see when it's back. And meanwhile, have a wonderfully crafty week. Bye for now.